Welcome to Module 5, Wall Management. A wall is a group of canvases that work together as a unified video wall. In this module, I'll explain how to browse for walls within your organization, how to configure your walls list, and how to create a wall using Orchestration Studio. Click Walls in the left sidebar to navigate to the Walls page. If you have access to more than one wall, you can use the filtering drop-downs to locate walls by status or tags if you're using a tagging system. Similar to canvases, you can configure the columns of your walls list to best suit your needs. Select the three-dot icon, hide or show columns by toggling them on or off. Drag and drop to move the order of columns, and click OK to save your configuration. You will see your new configuration on subsequent logins and when switching to different workspaces. Changing your view does not change the view for other members of the workspace. The easiest way to create a wall is to use the Add a Wall feature in the Videri mobile app. However, the mobile app can only be used to create walls of 7 canvases or less. To create a wall composed of more than that, you'll need to use Orchestration Studio. While Orchestration Studio may look a little daunting, it's pretty straightforward with the tools provided. Start by clicking Walls on the left sidebar to navigate to the Walls page. You can only assign canvases to walls that are in the same space, so make sure you're in the right workspace in the top app bar. Click Create New Wall. You can select any number of canvases to add to the wall layout from the left drawer. Just click on a canvas to add it to the layout. To rotate the canvas, select the Rotate Canvas icon. You can also change your grid units between millimeters, centimeters, and inches. These grid units correspond to real-world units of measurement. And lastly, here's where you can delete a canvas from your wall. Usually, before I get started with a wall, I like to have my Spark canvas dimensions and a calculator, paper, and pen handy, depending on how complex I'm going to get. The Spark dimensions are found in our technical documents as well as Spark Series datasheet. For this demo, I'm going to add 2 Spark 4s and 1 Spark 5 to my wall. I'm also going to zoom out a bit so I have a better view. Now that I've added my canvases, I need to configure the view. Click on the Workspace options to open the Artboard menu. Now, to be clear, this is not the same as the workspaces we discussed earlier. Think of this as being like a workspace drawing board. You have the option to show or hide rulers, use alignment guides, hide the grid, or snap the canvases to the grid. To get started, we recommend zeroing out the wall layout. This means placing the uppermost leftmost corner of the wall layout at an X and Y axis of 0. Then, this canvas can be used as the reference point for the positioning of all other canvases on the wall, making it a simple formula. Click on the canvas in the uppermost leftmost corner of your installation to select it. In the right sidebar, click into the input fields for X and Y and set the values to 0. To accurately recreate the real-world installation, you will need to use the reference canvas to position the other canvases with the appropriate X and Y values to create your wall. For all canvases, the X and Y values correspond to the location of the upper left corner of the canvas, regardless of the orientation. I'm going to select the Spark 4 to be my reference canvas. Next, you should make note of the width and height values of the reference canvas. That's where your notepad and pen come in handy. Click on your next canvas to view its positioning details. I'm going to put 2 inches or 50.8 millimeters between my canvases. We usually recommend 2 inches or less if you want to run orchestration. I'm going to calculate where my Spark 5 needs to be placed on the wall to have exactly this distance between them. To install the Spark 5 canvas, 50.8 millimeters to the left of the Spark 4 canvas, I need to calculate the x-axis value of the Spark 5. Now remember, we started at 0 for the x-axis value of the Spark 4 reference canvas. To calculate the x-axis needed for the Spark 5, add the width of the Spark 4 canvas, 559.2 millimeters, plus 50.8 millimeters, for an X value of 610 millimeters. Let's keep going with our X-axis values and move to the next Spark 4 canvas to calculate the required X-axis for our final canvas in this wall. Going back to our 0x axis, add the width of the Spark 4 canvas and the gap, 610 millimeters in total, to the width of the V5 canvas, 633 millimeters, plus the 50.8 millimeter gap needed for a total of 1,293.8 millimeters. Enter that value into the x-axis measurement for the third and final Spark 4 canvas. Next, let's set our y-axis points. Our Spark 4 reference canvas has a y-axis of 0. I want my Spark 5 canvas to be equal distance above and below the initial Spark 4 canvas. So how do we do that? Again, simple addition and subtraction. The Spark 5 is 1,102.8 millimeters high. The Spark 4 is 971 millimeters high. Subtract the value of the Spark 4 from the Spark 5, and then divide the result by 2. The answer is 65.9 millimeters. Based on this math, I want my y-axis for my Spark 5 to be 65.9 millimeters above the Spark 4 canvases, and I enter minus 65.9 in the y-axis field to create that equal distance. Remember, it has to be a minus or negative value to place the canvas higher, and to place it lower, simply use the positive value. To set the y-axis for my third and final Spark 4 canvas, I use the same 0 y-axis that my reference canvas, the first Spark 4 canvas, used. This calculation for the horizontal and vertical positioning of canvases can be used to calculate the positioning of all other canvases in your wall, using the most recently positioned canvas for the next canvas reference point. Just remember to repeat the formula over and over again until your wall is as large as you need it to be. So now that you've set up a wall, what's next? You need to assign physical canvases to your wall because the Layout and Orchestration Studio is a placeholder for canvases until you do that. Assets can then be scheduled to the wall of canvases. Select the Canvas tab and click on Assign Canvases. Search for your available canvases and assign them to the wall. Be sure to name your wall. You can also change a wall name by simply clicking into the field and typing your new name. You must save the wall layout before leaving the page or your changes will be lost. Click the Save icon to save your wall layout.